tonight is the night before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to make some placemats. I'm checking for any wrinkles in the back. We wouldn't want any of those. I just smooth it outward. There's no wrinkles. We don't have to worry about that. It also looks straight. Here's how I choose my thread. I have these King Tut thread guides, and they have many colors on them. I simply lay them down on my fabrics and decide what colors to pick for. Remember, this is 910. It is called Bull Rushes. You can see it has a lot of golds and browns in it. When I lay it on, that looks good. There's this brown area and more gold, and it shows up lighter in this lighting. See, I'm stitching with really one hand. Yeah, you can see the stitching on here is mostly these undulatory and meander type things. Here I have finished quilting this with the Millennium. I have done this type of stitching all over this, and the bottom tension looks good. I'm ready to remove it from the long, except from the side. Normally, to remove pins used to take me a lot longer. All I have to do is get my hand on it, pull straight up, and the overall meander. Zoom out. We've got trains. You really don't see the bottom line super bob thread in it, but I can tell you that it's right in here. Maybe if we zoom in, you might begin to see some of the threads. Yeah, there's just a bit of thread there. Such that all these edges are fairly. First thing I'm going to do is cut off the edge that is quilted to the edge that is quilted, just a little past that. And luckily, I have a sharp rotary cutter. That takes care of all the edges. Now that I'm going to go in 14 inches, which is right here, and I will cut maybe 15 inches. This is 15. What I'll do is line up the edge of my ruler with this, and I'll give it a cut, sliding it up just a bit, and that is on 15. We'll do one more at 15, which is right about here. And I'm trying to give myself just a little bit of extra in case I need to square them up. Extra left over, which isn't 15 inches. Now, since I have this tail on it that I can't use because it's extra backing, I'm going to take them, fold them like this, rotate them, and try to cut off that extra width so I can use it maybe in another project. It's just a rough cut, but I want to be sure I keep my placemats, so I'm going to stay back away from them a ways and try to get all this excess cut off. That's just waste. Cut off some of that excess batting. And now I should have, this is my extra piece that I don't need. I should have my placemat widths. They're accordion-like, so I'll unfold them one more time. And I got most of it cut. We'll just do this slice here and that slice there. I should have 2 slices that are roughly the same width, 15 inches. And yeah, they're very, very close. So I'm pleased with that. Now then, with my 15 inches like this, I will unfold it. I've got double folded stuff here, and I need to trim off the top. Just where the line is, and just past that 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to check the bottom since it's double folded, and that's not right, so I'm going to peel that back and cut this one 1/4 of an inch above what I call my stay stitching. Now when I fold this one back over the top, I'll make sure there's no overlap, so I don't cut the underlying one. I'm lining it up right along the stay stitching, which I assume was done in a straight stitch. Now I have this nice long piece with just a little divot out of it. Looks like a little V. So I'm just going to free cut that loose. That was probably from folding it. And this should be my placemats width, and I'll just start chopping them at their height. Let's see, I think I'll just lay it on this big grid and use the grid. So I'm trying to line up the tops, keep the sides even. Line it up with the 1 or the 36 or whatever. Count over, and I can use this thing to help me. I want it about 10 or 9 high. This is 9 high. This is 10 high. My plates I know are at least 10. So why don't we go 12? Be a little bit generous. 12 or 13. If I do 13, I almost have squares, so let's do 12. So this is 12. And there we have it. We have 2 placemats. I just need to do the bindings. Do another 12. Now I have 4. And 1 more. This will be just a square that should be about 4. Let's see. It might be a little bit bigger. This is 14, so I'll chop 2 inches off of it. It will be a nice one. Now we can take the rest of this, and it should have the same problem. It'll have probably a little bit unusual right there where it flares out. Since I know it's probably going to do that, I'll just trim it off square as I can. Straighten it up, you know, before I work with it. This is going to have the same issues. It's going to have a raggedy edge on both sides, and they may not be equal, so I'll peel it back. Line it up, do about a 1/4 inch for my stay stitching. Same thing here, 1/4 inch for my stay stitching. And this one I practiced on a little bit, so it's going to be hard to see where my stay stitching is, but I can see it. I'm checking it, it looks good. We'll try lining it up and doing the same procedure. Since this is a 36-inch mat, if I come to the 24, I know I've got a 12-inch. If I come to the 12, I know 24 and 12 is 12 or whatever. 12 as low as 24. And I have one more at the 0. That gives me another 12. And as you recall, this was 14 inches, and I believe it's still 14 inches. Yep. So, I cut off 2 inches of it. And there you have it. The placemats are pretty well made. All I need to do is put the binding on them. And I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 placemats, reversible, for Thanksgiving. Thank you. I'll show you the last part if you wish. Hi, I'm Karen Wheeler, and I'm now at the binding stage. I've cut 2 inches wide binding. 2-inch wide binding of the train tracks, and I'm going to fold it in half and press it so I'll have ½ an inch. Then I'm going to sew it on with my home sewing machine, which is right over here. And you can see I've got my everything ready to go. I'm now going to press. Nice pattern on the back, and this is what is the front or the back. Looks like you can see that it has train fabric. I use these with my china on this side, which has a floral pattern, and I like them. Thank you. This is what actual floral pattern has the green in it that goes nicely with this. So the opposite side of the placemat is again this train fabric, and you can see that it goes nicely with a table setting also, but perhaps not with my china. Anyway, this was pretty well what I had at the table at Thanksgiving, was the green, solid green more, the train fabric. It's a subtle print. You can see the trains a little bit. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how I did my placemats.